Good morning, good morning, good Monday morning. Happy Monday. Monday it is. Looks like the stream is live on Twitch. And it's live on YouTube, and it's live on LinkedIn. All right. Welcome. Happy Monday. It is Monday, the 21st of April, the day after Easter. Maybe you did some family stuff. I hung out with my family yesterday. We didn't do any kind of Easter to-dos, although my wife did make some deviled eggs. Very yummy. Welcome. Let me check on the chat window here. Okay, we're all settled and ready to kick off the week. How was the weekend? Did you get those job apps out? That is what you needed to do. My name is Keith. I've been a professional developer for over 30 years. I created the stream as a place to hang out while you're getting out job applications. Starting today, I've decided to push it back an hour in terms of the stream, but we stream now Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we had been streaming at 8 a.m., but the audience has not been growing, and one of the things I thought was maybe people who are unemployed just aren't getting up as early. So we're going to push it back, a little experiment, try it out. I've been doing this stream for 4.5 months. I started it officially on January 1st. It's one of my kind of New Year's, let's try something different things. And we haven't really kind of caught on with the audience yet. Still looking for our place. If you know anybody who is in the job market in tech and specifically programming, please share the stream. I have a LinkedIn QR code on the screen also if you're interested in connecting with me. I'm always looking to grow my network. We do two things on the stream. We check out the job numbers. What are the trends in the job posting market? And then we look at news that can and might affect our industry and wherever possible hiring, because that's kind of our focus here. In the meantime and in between time, always good to answer questions that you have in the chat. Again, I have worked for over 35 years in tech, technically. The last 30 of it as a programmer. If you have any questions about any and all those things, I'm happy to chase a rabbit hole and respond to your questions. Let's check out the job market. So every morning, including on the weekends, I get up and I check the new job postings in the last 24 hours. The goal is just to get a trend line, not to be absolutely exhaustively representative. But this set of graphs that we have here is checking the job postings in the last 7 days, the last 6 months, and then the last year. And what we can see is the last 7 days, it's been flat. If we expand that view out to the last 6 months, we have less, 5% less job postings today than we did 6 months ago. But these numbers are not great. They're not great, just to be frank. If we look back at a year, which sort of factors in seasonality, we can see that we are consistently lower, probably 40% lower than we were in the last year ago this time. So these numbers are all not great, and they all have to do with what's going on in the wider business world. Tariffs make companies uncomfortable. They don't know how to budget correctly based on growth, and there's a lot of concern about recessions. And again, when you have the threat of recession, and we've talked a lot about this in the last 2 years for sure, the threat of a recession or downturn in the economy, companies need to circle their wagons. They need to put hiring freezes on. They need to kind of hold everything steady and extend their runway as much as possible. So that's really kind of what we're seeing. It's not that there are no new job postings. There are, but there just aren't as many as there used to be. And of course, since we've had some layoffs, it's more more competitive landscape out there. Since the first of the year, I've been breaking that down and looking at different levels, experience levels. And so if we look at all JavaScript jobs since the first of the year, again, it's been pretty flat. Remote jobs, pretty flat, although there's a bit of a downtrend that we've seen in the last 2 weeks or so. When we look at entry-level, mid-level, and senior-level developers since the first of the year, again, numbers are flat, but you see the bulk. There are more mid-level roles being posted than there are senior and entry-level combined. So, if you got a couple years experience, you're fitting more in the sweet spot of the kind of jobs that are being offered there. But of course, you got a lot more competition too. And when we look at the remote jobs, again, that trend line has been pretty stable for entry-level roles and senior-level roles. But in the last couple of weeks, there's been a dip in those mid-level remote roles. So the numbers are not great, but again, there are numbers. We're tracking the numbers every day. We get to see a new set of numbers. That'll give us a sense of what we're going to do. Either way, those are things we can't control. What we can control is how many of those job postings that we get our resumes out to, our apps out to, our LinkedIn profiles too. So the top news, the headline news is the Pope has died. I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school until 6th grade. I am not a practicing Catholic, but whenever a Pope dies, there is a lot of the world that wants to know what's going to be next, especially because this Pope was more on the Christian side of Christianity. So we'll be interesting to see kind of what's next. Is it a hardliner? Is it another hippie? But that by itself shouldn't affect us in the tech world. Just kind of notable. Let's see what else we got in terms of stories. So there was this foot race for humanoid robots in China. They've been publicizing it for a while. So I guess it finally happened. As Silicon Valley companies compete and race to build AI-powered humanoid robots, a half marathon this weekend in Beijing showcased China's ambitions by pitting man versus machine. Only 4 of the 21 robots finished the 13-mile race. The winner was built by X Humanoid, a startup backed by the Chinese government, and Xiaomi Corp. It finished in 2 hours and 41 minutes, lagging behind the human gold medalist, as AI and robotics are a key priority for President Xi's government. In the early reports I heard, like all of the problems, these are the things. It's one thing to see a humanoid robot in a demo. It's another thing to have it really working a full day's work. Does it have the stamina to keep up with that, right? And it was interesting. Some of the hydraulic ones popped some fluid lines. So it's cool that they're doing that. But of course, like this is Much better than when DARPA had their first like autonomous car race, and none of the cars finished, and a bunch of them ended up in ditches. And these guys are at least out there hustling, man. So I didn't say how many started. Almost 20 companies that can build humanoid robots. Didn't say how many started, but it said 4 finished. Oh, only 4 of 21. So again, they had some finish. That's an impressive showing. An impressive showing. Got those shoes on. That's hilarious. Robots are coming, man. They are coming. They are on the way. You gonna get a robot? What's your cost benefit analysis? Obviously, they're going to end up in industry first on different showroom floors and stuff, restocking shelves, those kind of things. But to have one in your house, they're saying $20,000 on a payment plan. It's less than a new car. Would you have one in your house? Would you have one in your house? It would be, I don't know. I don't know that I would have. I certainly wouldn't rush out. If I had millions of dollars in the bank, I'd probably buy one, but I wouldn't let it go crazy going in my house. I'd buy it just to kind of clean up the garage and stay in the garage. I don't know. Just a free roaming thing with cameras feeding the internet. I'm not signing up for that. Not signing up for that. That's fine. What else? What else? AI use in school sparks debate. Like, sparks debate? We've been talking about this for 2 years. The growing use of AI in the classroom is forcing educators to grapple with several seeming contradictions. Schools are restricting students' AI use to prevent cheating, even as teachers turn to the same tools to help with grading and lesson planning. That's raising tough questions and prompting some teachers to shift their focus to modeling ethical AI use and teaching students how to verify and evaluate AI output. Yeah. It's a tool. It's absolutely a tool. And it works well in some instances. It doesn't work well in others. So your first job is to understand that. And then your second job is to kind of understand where the North Star is. What's your North Star in education? To learn. It's not to get the diploma. It's not to get the 4.1 grade point average. It's to learn. And it's a super powerful tool in helping with learning. So we need to focus on that and let them understand that this is, every year we see stories about how high schools are graduating people who don't know how to read or write or do basic math, and they're sending them to college. They get into college, and they got to have these remedial classes in college programs to teach multiplication and stuff. We see those stories. How much of a problem it is, I do not know, but it's enough that they found to write about, at least. We need to use every tool that we can. Because the world's not getting less complicated, less complex. It's getting more. We need to educate. We need to stay on top of this stuff. Finfluencers flourish in trade war with economic uncertainty rising, and young investors are turning to social media financial influencers or finfluencers for help. Spruce survey found that 33% of Gen Z and 23% of millennials look to social media for financial guidance. However, these influencers aren't always certified financial planners. They're very rarely certified financial planners or formally trained, making it harder for users to separate reliable advice from ads. It's also becoming a challenge for creators to determine if and how to incorporate politics into their messaging. It's a whole other headache. I have followed at different times some of these finfluencers. I mean, not on TikTok, but on YouTube. Did they mention anybody specifically? But ultimately, I ended up walking away from it. It's good. It's good to learn about these things, and oftentimes you can, if you're following, the influencer will put out some video, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't even know that's a thing. That's a kind of a text thing. Let me go check that out. Let me, So then I'd go a little bit deeper on it. But more and more, we got AI that's going to help us with a lot of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know about that stuff. Market chaos crimps Lux weddings. For richer or poor, wedding organizers are seeing more and more clients cut back on posh nuptials amidst volatility in the market. Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things that people who are having a wedding in June, they booked the venue at least a year ago in most cases. They booked time with the photographer and videographer and DJ and different facilities, and now things are more. There's more uncertainty in that space. One New York wedding pro said that clients recently asked them to trim their budget from $400,000 to $75,000, while a Dallas planner says her customers have been slashing their guest lists. Trade uncertainty isn't just affecting big spending couples, however. Chinese imports make up roughly 90% of the bridal gown market. Yeah. We don't so much fabric in this continent. Couples are cutting their wedding budgets, delaying the big day until 2027. Yeah. I just had my wedding anniversary a few weeks ago. And that was the 27th. I always have to stop and look. It's been many years now. It's been decades. And I don't have kids old enough. Well, I don't say that. They are old enough to get married. They're not getting married right now. So this stuff is off of my radar. Tariffs give Coke a sales edge after slipping behind Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper in U.S. sales. PepsiCo now faces a new obstacle: tariffs. For decades, PepsiCo has imported its secret recipe concentrates from Ireland to take advantage of the company's low corporate tax rates. But new 10% tariffs threaten the soda giant's ongoing efforts to boost its U.S. market. Coca-Cola, by contrast, sources most of its concentrate for its American sodas domestically. Meanwhile, both companies may be subject to a new tariff on aluminum imports. Yeah. Different prices are going to be hit different ways at different times. Supply chains. Unfortunately, we have a just-in-time supply chain idea, which kind of gets it's problematic for whenever there's huge changes in the market, right? If you want to get a bunch of soda and dry goods from the grocery store, if there's a run on that grocery store, you can empty out a store in a day And there's not a whole big storeroom in the back with months worth of food. It's all being delivered just in time to get it on the shelves to keep those keep the money on the shelves and not in the storeroom, which is good for corporations, so they're not paying for stuff that's not making them money. But it's not good when you have these threats to individual products or the like. Again, there's a hurricane come through and everybody needs a generator. But the Home Depot only has like 4 or 5 of them on the shelf sitting there, and when they're gone, there's not a whole bunch of them sitting in storage ready to be taken out. So this problem with efficiency sometimes can be Pope dies at 88. That's when you know there's no magic pill to keep people alive. If there was a magic pill to keep people alive, the Vatican would have it. But the Pope wouldn't be dying at 88. All right. Have you guys been watching The Last of Us? I have not started it yet, second season. My son and I watched the first season together, and we're going to try and make some time to do the second one, but our schedules haven't sunk up yet. Let's see what's going on in the world of tech. I haven't played around with new real-time screen sharing. Let's see. I did see the Paul Rudd videos over the weekend. Those are fun. So I just unveiled Olo, a color never before seen by the human eye. Okay. Doom, The Dark Ages, second trailer. Never played anything beyond the original Doom game. Played the heck out of that one, but got bored with the whole first-person shooter after that. At 77, she's as fit as a 25-year-old. Well, that's impressive. I will be 57 this year in a handful of months. What is her secret? Gmail warning. Do not open this email from Google. Okay. Yeah. Stay tuned for the next Nintendo Switch update. Millions of Americans get Microsoft's free upgrade offer. I've been on a I have a goal this year of averaging 10,000 steps a day for the whole year, which is considerably more than I was doing last year. And I am on track. Currently, I'm averaging about 10,600 steps a day for the year. And we're into the second quarter, so that's pretty good. I'm keeping it together. Going for walks around my neighborhood. Trying to get that zone 2 time in. Expert issues warning to people who leave their phone on charge before going to sleep. Okay. I do that. It's right next to my bed, right next to my head. 5 questions to ask Gemini today for an instant life upgrade. All right, I'm in. We got a few minutes left. Let's look at this one. Do. Come on. Load. AI is going to take over our lives. At least that's what we keep being told. How can I save time doing something? Okay, many of us perform monotonous, repetitive tasks each day, whether it's trying to extract information from documents, checking for text and grammar errors. Gemini can help with most of this. All you do is ask is, how can I save time doing it? That's a good one. That's a good one. Is there a mindfulness and de-stress routine I can try? I have organized a fairly stress-free life. What solutions can you offer me? This is one I do use all the time. I'm always asking for multiple solutions to a problem. That sort of thing. What is the weather today, and what can I do? I haven't been asking for the weather. I just go to the 10-day forecast always. It's probably just a coin toss in terms of, weather forecasting is mostly nonsense anyway. And learning a skill, of course, I use it all the time for learning new skills. So maybe there's one tip in there for me. How can I save time doing something? It's just a good idea to sort of look at your day, schedule things out, and see what you can do to optimize. Okay, we're kind of down at the end of it. If you're joining us late, my name is Keith. I'm a professional developer. We meet here every morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I broadcast live from Austin, and it's just a hangout. If you're in the job market, tech job market, maybe you've been laid off, maybe you're just out of school, and you are out there in the job hunt, and you're looking for a buddy to hang out with when you're getting up in the morning and getting those job applications out, well, feel free to add me to your LinkedIn and to your daily routine. Get up 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, 7 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm missing a time zone in there somewhere. But feel free to share this with anybody that you know who's in the job market and is looking for somebody to be their little pal to hang out with and be consistent. Again, when so many things in this world we can't control, in a world where we're hearing more about stagflation and recession and all these scary terms, the one thing we can control is getting up in the morning, getting a caffeinated beverage in us, and getting those job applications out. And hustling just as hard to get a job as you did to learn the skills that made you a good fit for that job. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to just get in there. We're going to use every angle. We're going to think about things from first principles. We're going to remember what our goals are, and we're going to get to work and stay at the grind until we get that job offer. All right. Well, have a great week. I will see you in 23 hours and 30 minutes. In the meantime, and in between time,